Hey guys. Yeah. Y'all can't see me, huh? Hey guys, greetings and blessings. Yours truly, Empress Jazzy Warmington, aka All That Chaz, aka Lupus Slayer. Do apologize for that. I had not been feeling well, and I actually forgot that I had scheduled this show because I know that last week I had to postpone the show to later because I was not feeling well. So I really did not realize that I had this show. So I had to hurry up and get dressed and try to do something with myself. So thank you guys for being patient with me, and I do appreciate everybody's support. We're going to talk about racism, okay? The befriending plot. And the befriending plot is something that we still see to date, where one thing about people who are racist, they don't care who they have to use. They don't care about using those who they are racist against to help get them success and wealth. So, and sometimes they would even play the part of being the friend, being, in support of you and of your movements and stuff, just to persuade you, you know, to get your business, your votes, or what have you. That's why for me, I don't get caught up when I see politicians, doing all this stuff seemingly to be not racist against people because I already know the game. And once you really not just know the game, but you understand how they work and their psychology, then you don't fall for their BS. So the plot, the befriending plot, it goes back to um, all the way back to history before slavery started. And there was, and another thing about slavery is you had a lot of people who was opportunistic, they were greedy, and they're bullies. So they knew that they had an advantage over a group of people, weaponry wise. That was really it, just weaponry wise. And remember, you guys got to remember when slavery first started, um, there was a lot of women, African women, who were queens, and they ran providences, like Nadat Nadia of Ghana, and then you had Ashanti of Zulu. These were some royal queens, and they ruled these nations. And what oftentimes happens is when somebody can't get to you, if they can't persuade you, what they'll do is try to go persuade your counterpart. It's almost like, and I know this, I'm not saying this with slavery, I'm just saying this as an example. You have some children, they know that they can get their way with their parent, with certain parents. Like they know that daddy would let them do whatever, but mommy is a little stern, or mother would let them get away with whatever, but daddy is more strict and more, stern. So they'll try to play you guys against each other so that they can get what they want. Very manipulative. This behavior, people are born with it. They don't have to be taught it. We are born with these kind of, things, but how we use them is what makes the difference. So, um, they were very manipulative people. Racists are extremely manipulative. They're con artists, and they're also backstabbers. They'll betray you in a heartbeat. So you can never trust a racist, period. So we have to think about the history. How is it that you had the Portuguesians, and then you had the Spaniards, some of the Spaniards, and you had the Europeans, Westernizers, the French. You got to realize all these people, they band together and they decided to go and take over a nation, a people, to force them into slavery. Okay, kidnap them, force them into slavery, and steal their resources, steal their wealth, which still to date they are trying to do. They always want to throw this word around, civilization. That's how they try to persuade them, because they show them, look, right now, you can just put this in a microwave and you can warm it up. They go to these rural tribal areas that want to keep their true traditions. They want to keep their true tribe, tribal heritage. But you got these westernizers that are relentless, and they feel like they have the right to impose their beliefs and their desires upon other people, and that you just have to comply. And if you decide not to comply, then what they like to do is call their armies on you and get their little team of friends that has the same kind of mentality, warp and evil mentalities as they do, to fight. That's why for me, I'm glad that I never went into the military. I'm glad that I never became a police officer, and I actually wanted to be both. I wanted to be in the military, I wanted to go into the Marines and become a Navy SEAL, and I had also wanted to become a police officer. I had always wanted to be these things, believe it or not. But I'm so glad, knowing what I know now, that I never did those, because I would have been contributing to what these racists have plotted. I would have been a part of them protecting and being able to continue to enforce their propagandas upon people, for just for their greed and for them to just have control and to be bullies. So with that stated, That's why I always tell people, please study your own history. Take out the time, the same amount of time that you will use to research and um, lifestyles of celebrities and other people, or just to try to argue with people back and forth on social media, which I don't know why people do that. I refuse to argue with people on social media. Use that time to really research and study, because now a lot of the information, most of it is available. And it's like when you're reading this in archives.gov and in the Library of Congress.gov, which is loc.gov, you will be shocked to find out the information that you're finding out. And it's really disheartening. And so, you have, well, you got a lot of people that seems to have this kind of warped type of mentality, and you just cannot in no wise entertain it. I know it's tempting to, but you can't. It's tempting to, but just don't give in to it, because you got a lot of people, y'all are just, you got a lot of people, they just do a lot of evil and vindictive stuff. Like we have a troll on here now, that's sitting up here talking about black people, which his how this see this is the thing I want to tell you guys, how stupid and ignorant they are. I won't even say ignorant, but how stupid they are, because this is just flat out stupidity. There is no such thing as black. Black is not a race, nor is white a race. These were labeled upon racists labeled these on people to call them inferior, to call them weak, to call them beneath them, to call them all kind of mean and degrading things. So that's why you have black and white, because you notice only European countries, or in the American U.S. America, are the only nations that really does that. You go to most countries, you say you have Nigerians, they say Nigerian. You have people from Italy, they're Italian. They don't be like, oh, you're white or you're black. No, they call them their nationalities. But what has happened is that we have lived in such a warp side community in so much in so long that let me see. I'm sorry, guys. Somebody I have to report for being racist and stupid by choice. Um, so you have people that are like that, and they're the one that started this, oh, black and white, or you black or you white stuff. They're the one that started that. So with that stated, you have you have to realize that and then he had the audacity to say, y'all black asses stop doing. I'm going to show this person. I normally never do this, but I just want to show you guys how stupid people are. Okay, he says, y'all black asses stop doing crazy stuff. Y'all black people wouldn't have to worry about other people being racist as hell. You see how stupid this person is, how they choose to be stupid. And this is the thing, it's like they don't want to take accountability for the stuff that they do. They don't never want to take accountability. What they want to do is, oh, I'm going to blame everybody else for my stupidity, for my actions, for my acts. That's what I want to do. I'm going to blame them. I hate, see, this is what I really hate with Twitch. It doesn't allow me to, I'm trying to remove him, these comments, and it's not allowing me to remove them, and I don't know why. I don't want these showing up on my live. I don't want this kind of mess on my live. So it's just like, here we go. I told you guys, Okay, so I'm sorry, guys. I need to go ahead and delete this because I don't want to have this trash on my live. So when I do my videos, I don't have it. I don't have it sitting on my on here. And my rabbit is over here doing the most. And I don't know what in the world he think he doing, but he doing the most. But anyway, like I stated, you're gonna have people that's gonna be like this idiot right here who says the most idiotic and foolish things to try to justify and protect the foolishness and stupidity of races. So the thing is, when you study history, you find out what happened. They saw the resources, they saw how much money they could get for it, they saw how wealthy they could become off of the backbones of melanin people, but they knew in order for them to get it, they would have to subdue them. In order for them to subdue them to get in and to have them to let their guards down, is they had to befriend them, they had to trust them. So um, in order for them to be able to trust them, they had to, they befriended. That's the plot, to befriend. So that's what they did. They befriended um, the Africans, and they took over their resources. And then even when they came to the United States, which was a Moor that founded the United States, it was not what's name Columbus. I don't know why they keep lying. He did not have anything to do with America being found. He had nothing at all to do with that. So I don't know why they keep teaching that lie when it was not him, it was a Moor. But I'm trying to see, guys. Let's see. So, and anytime I do these races, Twitch has Twitch is actually one of those sites that you have a whole lot of racist people on. People who didn't know, Twitch is they got a lot of racist people on here, and Twitch doesn't really moderate them and stuff. So I guess we're gonna have to file a class action lawsuit against Twitch for allowing the racist people to just be on here freely when they know. I'm not talking about them not being aware, but they actually know that these people are racist, and they still allow them to use their platform to harass non people who not people who they're racist against, whether they're Asian, Hispanic, you know, melanin, whatever. They feel like they have that right in their entitlement. But yeah, so this is what I had to but this is the idiocy that you deal with. So you got a lot of racist people out here that feel entitled. Like they see what you have, they feel entitled to having it. If they can't have it, then they don't want. Then they get upset at you, and they want to try to fight you or try to kill you. And that's essentially what happens a lot of times in these cases. Look at these racist cops. They get upset because you dare question their authority or you stand up to them and they act like they can't be touched and that you don't have the right to stand up to them, especially if you're melanin. You don't have the right to question them about anything. Don't be melanin and already have a criminal record too. Even if you're not committing anything criminal at the time, it's just the point of the matter is they feel like they're above you and you're beneath them, and that you have no right to question them about anything, even if you're not doing anything wrong. uh I do not like when this happens. Like, I don't understand why Twitch do not allow me to. mm, okay, so yeah, but you have people that feels like they're entitled to do whatever they want to do to you, solely because of the color of your skin, and you don't have any right. So with the plot, one thing about the plot that we must not forget, as part of the plot, is to turn as many people against melanin people as possible. If you notice, even with the news, they love to try to highlight they just try to make it seem like melanin people are the only people in the world committing crimes. That's what they try to do. But they don't never want to show um, what's, crimes of other groups, especially the groups that is supposedly, that so-called themselves supreme, um, white supremacists. They really don't like to show when they do things, and when they do things out of order that's wrong, they try to minimize it. I mean, look at what they're calling them. Instead of calling them what they are, racist, terrorists, what are they calling them? Mobsters, and what's the other word that they use? It's another term that they use. I forgot the other word that they use, but they're trying to downplay who these people really are and what they're really doing. And that just, to me, it just shows how these powers that be do not want to fully address and acknowledge that racism exists and how bad it is, because they can't even acknowledge the truth that a lot of these racists, that these people are racist who storm on state capitol. They don't even want to call them racist. They calling them something else, calling them some other name. I can't remember um what it is that they calling them, but they calling them some other name now. And it's just ridiculous that you know, we can't even just be ourselves without dealing with the racism. You know, they don't like our hair. Okay, this is the hair that we were born in. Because our hair doesn't look like European westernized hair, straight, silky, then then it's ugly. It's like anything that we do as melanin people is ugly and it's bad and it's derogatory. And they have, because they've had control for so long, they've been able to poison so many people, so many groups of people, where they feel like we are bad, and that if they associate themselves with us, that it is bad. I mean, even to real estate, you got now where you got real estate companies and inspectors, appraisers. They go to a house that's owned, that they see that it's by melanin people, owned by melanin people. They are depreciated just because melanin people was living there, instead of giving them the full value of the house. And I'm just like, wow, this is like some really ignorant, petty stuff. But back to the befriending and the plot, I keep trying to explain this to melanin people. A lot of racist people tolerate you. They don't like you, but they tolerate you because without you, they know they wouldn't have the success and the wealth that they want. I tell anybody, if you don't believe me, there's a part of Britain and a that you can go to right now, and I'm gonna have to. I saw it on a documentary, and I should have wrote it down. But there's a part of Britain right now that you can go to, and just about every single person in just by every British Caucasian man, Caucasus man, are billionaires, not millionaires, billionaires. They own the banks. They own all these major corporations, these big cargo ships, and all of these production companies, manufacturers. They own them. So that's why they're able to get away with so much. They will have the upper hand in so many instances because they own every damn thing. But remember, this owning, the way they got it is through thievery and through killing and destroying success of people who didn't look like them. You think about Tulsa, Oklahoma, you think about Black Wall Street, you know, You think about these things, and even before the Tulsa, Oklahoma, how they even just in the country of Ghana of Africa, how they didn't want the Ghanaians to have independency, and even look at Haiti, how they tried to go into Haiti and take over, but because they could gain control of Haiti, what did they do? They pull all their resources. They don't want to help them, and so Haiti suffers because these powers that be refuses to help them because they can't control them. You see how that goes? So, the befriending plot has always been a source that they deal, that racists have used, a tool that they've used to their advantage. And oftentimes, because they know that they have the resources that you need, 9 out of 10, they're going to get you to comply, whether you want to or not, because you need their resources, because they don't stole the resources. All right. It's even how I was stating about how they go to some of these foreign countries where people who are still have their tribes, they're still fully set up in their tribes, how they try to, take these people tribes and try to force them to fork over their tribe. Look at how they burnt down the Amazon. They tried to kill the Amazonians because they could control the Amazonians. They wouldn't give them their land. They didn't want to buy. They wanted them to just give it to them. And even if they wanted to pay for it, the Amazonians wasn't going to allow them to just go come in. And these are Europeans, racist Europeans that wanted to go in there and just take their land, and they wasn't with it. So what did they do? They intentionally set a fire, caused a fire. But this is how evil and wicked these people are. So when you deal with racist people, you can never underestimate them. I don't care if they're not expressing their racism to the extent as other races. Racist people have the tendency to do very unpredictable things. And just when you thinking that you're winning them over and that okay, they understand they're not going to be racist like this anymore, they'll turn around and show you and prove to you that they are going to be that racist, and they're going to actually be worse than what you could have thought and or imagined them to be. And racist people do not just discriminate against people who don't look like them, they discriminate against people who don't believe like they do, even if they are the same nationality as they are. It's just like some people, I could say this from being a Muslim. When I used to be a Muslim, I studied Islamic and I became a Muslim because I wanted to understand the culture and understand the religion. So I would say it's like anybody who doesn't, even though most of them are peaceful, they don't like to fight, they don't like to argue, they always try to, keep the peace. At the same time, though, they have this thing where they don't want you to marry somebody who is a Muslim. They don't want you to marry somebody who doesn't believe the same as as they believe. And you got races there like that. If you don't believe how they believe and you don't see eye to eye, you're supposed to be of their nationality or their group, then they'll be racist against you too. So it's not just they're going to be racist towards somebody who don't look like them and not of their group, but they'll be racist towards people who do look like them and are they saying nationality or race solely because they don't agree with their um their theology and their way of thinking and their mindset. So yeah, you have to be really careful when you deal with racist people. And again, racist people tolerate us because they are masters in befriending. They're going to always try to make you feel like you are a part of them so that they can get what they want out of you. And once they use you up, they don't want to be bothered with you anymore, you know. So I just wanted to bring that up. And before I move along, I want to say thank you to my sponsors, Feisty by Wisdom, cosmetic that provides the lip gloss that I'm wearing. I don't have on the eyeshadow today, but I normally have on the eyeshadow and the rouge that they sponsor me with. Also to Tima's accessories. I have on the earrings. I'm rocking the necklace and the bracelet that I got from Tima Accessories. Thank you, Tima Accessories, to Deeper Entertainment. Thank you, Deeper Entertainment, GT Digital, that does distribution and also manage music artists, and their music artists are getting checks, okay, from their streams and their music. So if you're a serious music artist, and they're also, and by the way, they're also legitimate partners with Universal Music Group. So if you are a music artist and you're serious about furthering your music career, then you probably want to link up with GT Digital, Deeper Entertainment, and just let them know that all that Chaz or Z Entertainment Network sent you so that you can get priority. Okay. And also Yardi Organic Products that provide me the organic products and soaps that I need for my skin because I have very delicate skin, especially having lupus as one of those chronic illnesses disease that I battle, and it causes me to have skin issue. I don't know if you guys can see it on my nose, but I have a rash that I had to cover up with some eyeshadow and a little bit of powder to try to cover it up. So I have the butterfly rash across my face now that you guys can't see because I'm covering it up with rouge and with eyeshadow and powder. But yeah, so I want to give a big shout out to them, and also to TBIG LLC. It is a wholesale warehouse out in Douglasville, Georgia. Big shout out to them. I get my party supplies like for bulks of paper towels, toilet paper, um, containers, eating containers, cups, whatever you need. And it's not just for party stuff. They have a lot of stuff for just your personal hygiene, and your toiletries, drinks. They have their drinks, their cases of drink. If you're a person who like drinks, sports drinks and sodas and cases of water for the low, you want to go hit them up. They are reasonable. Cases of cereal and snacks and stuff like for children, especially with the homeschooling that's been going on. You was in a pandemic and you had, you forced to stay home. Your children's forced to stay home. I'm telling you, TBIG LLC would have had you and your children straight. You wouldn't have to worry about no food or anything. Them being thirsty, being hungry, and worry about running on toilet paper, paper towel, because you would have been able to go there and get hooked up. You can still go there and get hooked up because the summer coming, and we know in the summertime we use way more toiletries in the summertime than we do in the wintertime because all that warm weather and stuff. We be trying to keep ourselves refreshed. Taking multiple showers a day. I know I do. So you will get some reasonable shower gels and stuff like that. Hit them up. Okay. It's called TBIG LLC. They're in Douglasville, Georgia. All right. So, and also Bling. As a matter of fact, I actually have, because normally I be forgetting to. This is one of the very first face masks that Bling sponsored me with. I love this face mask. I can still smell the essential oils that came on it. Yes, she put the essential oils. It's called Bling. B as in boy, dot L as in Lima, dot I as in indigo, dot N as in November, dot E as in echo. Bling. You can find them on Facebook and also on Instagram. So I had to give my shout outs to my sponsors. So thank you guys for that. But before I continue on and conclude, I want to go ahead and play this commercial. So I'll be right back with the rest of my commentary about this subject because I don't think people really understand how deep racism goes. But here we go.
Looking for great deals on toilet paper, sodas, beverages, snacks for the children and company or body products? Go to TBIG LLC, located at 3745 Kings Highway, Suite DC in Douglasville, Georgia 30135 to check out their full inventory. Hours of operation is Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., and they're closed from Sunday through Tuesday. Let them know you heard about them from All That Jazz. With more and more harmful chemicals being added to foods and products, it is essential to start organifying your lifestyle by ordering natural organic skin and hair products like the charcoal scrub and hair growth serum from Yardi Organic Products that's reaching you naturally. Follow Yardi Organic Products on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Thank you for your support. Be a hero or hero in someone's life by supporting my Gloves On campaign, advocating for those battling life-threatening chronic illnesses and diseases and disabilities. You can support by making a donation, signing my petition, and or sharing my Gloves On campaign with as many people as possible. Just go to www.zheenllc.com to get more details. Thank you so very much for caring.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching those commercials. And I got two more that I'm going to have to play at the conclusion. But anyway, don't forget about the befriending plot with racism. They do not care about you individually as a person, about your livelihood. They use you for their, to benefit them. They tolerate you. We see this a lot with companies. And I'm not going to name some of these companies, but I don't think I have to, because a lot of people work there. You go in there, you see a lot of melanin people working these companies, but they rarely even support their communities, which they're in all communities. It doesn't matter if it's if it's a rich community or low income community. They're in communities that has a lot of people in them. So whether you poor, the low poverty, middle class, high class, you're going to always see these particular retailers in these communities, but they never give back to the communities. They never team up and try to find any community activists in the communities to work and coordinate with them on anything that they have concerns about in the community. They just there to make money. And I mean, I understand it, because that's what business is about, to make money. But these corporations, they give so much to other groups and to other causes, and they completely overlook those that's right under their noses that need their assistance and their help. So, but you see a lot of people that look like me working in these kind of industries, not just retailers, but fast food restaurants as well. But they don't really invest into the community. What they do is they just constantly take from the community, but they're never um, doing like scholarship funds for the local schools in the community. If they do some, they'll do a drawing or whatever, or they may do foreign overseas. But as far as doing connecting and linking up with the board of education for the schools in that district where they have their establishment, they don't never collaborate with those schools to give deserving students scholarships or anything of that nature. And it's just really sad that we have that, but this what happens because again they were given a weapon that they realized they could use to control people, and that was gunpowder. I know you guys started. So I was going to say a gun, no gunpowder. The gunpowder was given to them by the Chinese. And there, if a lot of people don't know why the racism is so heavy against the Chinese and melanin people, we didn't create that racism. We didn't cause that divide. It was the the Westernizers that caused that divide. They're the ones that went to the Chinese and try to make us look like we was these animals and beastic people because of our culture, especially, with us living with the wild, living in nature. They couldn't comprehend that. But a lot of them love it now. You look at these National Geographic shows and these nature channels and nature YouTube channels, you don't really see us. What do you see? You see a lot of European, a lot of Westernizers with the animals and stuff, but they do always normally will have us there to help as a guide and stuff like that. You notice that, right? But they're not giving us the platform. I just leave it at that. So, like I said, they befriend and they tolerate you to get what they want and to get support from other melanin people and other groups of people at the same time. They're the ones that's creating and have created all these hate against melanin people. So you have to be careful when you deal with racists. I will say that with for me, and I know I've gotten a lot of backlash from melanin people when I've said this, but it's just nevertheless it's true. I sit down with people who are white and who are European that are not racist, even if their preference as far as their relationship or marriage is somebody who look like them. I can understand that because I mean that's just a normal feeling feeling in just a normal way. But I would ask them how do they I would say things like, okay, for instance, you got the you got the offsprings of those who enslaved my ancestors, okay? They have offsprings, they have, their generation of children and grandchildren, they have their legacy. Now, their legacy did not commit the offenses of their ancestors. However, they still reap from it and are privileged because of it. So I asked them, how do they feel about racism as far as do they feel like they're more privileged because just based on the color of their skin, especially if they are a white male. We know white males oftentimes get away with murder, literally. And a lot of times white females, especially if she's blonde and she's petite, we get off with murder or get away with a lot of crimes, as opposed to someone who looks like me who didn't even commit a crime. They would try to create and fabricate a case just so that I could be locked up because of the color of my skin. So I explained these things to them, and and I was like, I would like to sit down and I can show you stats, I can show you story after story, but they know they are clearly aware of it. And it's like I asked them, do they feel guilty sometimes when their white privilege gets them things that they don't deserve? Um, and of course, some of them, most of them actually, they didn't know how to answer that because they never thought about it. They never had to be challenged, or even had to ever conceive that type of thinking. So, yes, we definitely, as melanin people, we deal with a lot of the racism. We deal with it on the worser end. But we cannot forget, and I know, and I'm gonna tell you, I get a lot. I know I'm gonna get cussed out, and I know I'm gonna be called cousin Tom. I'm gonna be called the C word lover. You know what I'm talking about. And uh, I'm going to be called all kind of derogatory names because I dare to also address what white people who are not like their ancestors who were slaves, who was kidnappers of slave and had slaves, um, kidnap. I like to say kidnap people as slaves. I don't want to say they were slaves because they were not. They were forced into slavery. It was not a race or a group or a nationality of them. They were forced to become slaves. So I say kidnapped slaves. They were people who, how do they, they have a battle that they have to fight too because they have to live with the fact that this is their legacy. This is their lineage. This is where they came from. And even if they don't support it and they don't agree to it and they are nothing like that, they still would be punished for it or be held accountable to it because they are of those seeds. And we cannot forget about that as much as I know a lot of melanin people wouldn't want to think about that, wouldn't want to acknowledge it, it is something that we do have to acknowledge because we cannot heal without acknowledging the position or the disposition that these racist people have put their families in because they have to live with that legacy, even though they didn't ask for it. They have to live with the legacy of knowing their great grandfather used to beat and rape people just because of the color of their skin, force them to work for free, do all kind of cruel and dehumanizing things to them solely because of the color of their skin. That's not a proud lineage that somebody wants to be from. That isn't something that I'm quite sure um, white people sit back the ones that I know anyway. I can't talk about the other ones, but the ones that I really know are the ones that I consider are really good friends to me, even as close, even like family. They don't, they're not sitting around thinking like that. They're not sitting around saying to themselves, damn, you know, I am from a lineage of murderers, killers, rapists, you know, self. What in the words of fruit fly, guys? Fruit fly. Let me see. Oh, they like this candle. Y'all gotta smell this candle. That's where this is apple cinnamon. That's where it was flying around. But it's like they have a struggle too. Of course, it's nowhere near. I'm not comparing it at all. So do not misquote that. It's nowhere near to what we deal with. And I'll tell their asses that too. I'll be like, honey, your struggle ain't nowhere near like ours. So don't try to compare it on that level now. But we cannot deny the fact that they have a struggle too. And their struggle is based on the fact that they are white or they are Chinese or Asian or Spaniards, Portuguese, and they know that they have ancestors that enslaved people of my lineage, of my ancestry, and that's going to be a hard. I think that's a hard pill to swallow. I could not say that I understand their position, just like they can't say they understand my position because we're on opposite sides of it. I'm on the side of being the victim and the abused, and they're on the side of the abuser and the victimizer. So it's just like, damn, like how how can they even psychologically begin to even process that? Um, and I like to sit and I like to have these kind of conversations with white people because I think that a lot of melanin people just feel like all white people are going to have the same theology. They are going to all think alike. They're going to all have the same theory. They all have the same, you know, psychosis, psychology of it when all of them don't. And a lot of them are willing to learn and become educated about it to try, even though they would never be able to understand it from our point of view because they're not this color living in this nation, living in the world. A lot of them are still willing to at least try to get an idea of what we go through, try to see what it's like so that they can hopefully help be part of the change because a lot of them do want to be part of the change. But it is our battle as melanin people, and we don't want to have anybody of other groups coming in fighting our battle because then we still be subjected. You see what I'm saying? So we have to pull ourselves together. We have to fight it. We have to get our own resources. We need to start getting our own manufacturing plants and start planning, getting our own trades, doing trades with foreign exchange, um, and stuff instead of always have to outsource to have people from the outside to provide things for us. But with that said, I'm going to go ahead and play these last two commercials, and I'll be right back to close out. Thank you.
What's up, everyone? This is yours truly, April Chassie Wormington, aka All That Chaz, aka Lupus Slayer. Join me every Tuesday and every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my Let's Talk People talk show. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you guys there. Greetings, beautiful people. I am celebrity events host, MC, advocate, brand ambassador, speaker, community activist, designer, and talk show host Chaz Wormington, aka All That Chaz, aka Lucas Slayer. Book me to host or speak at your next event. I provide full-service press kits, business consultations, interviews, and more. I'm an advocate for those battling chronic illnesses and diseases causing disabilities.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'm back now. But yeah, so y'all gotta understand the befriending plot has caused a lot of other nations of people who has never even really interacted with us prior to form their opinion about us, because again, you have to look at the media they use the media to befriend other groups of people too, to try to make it seem like we are these bad people, that we're monsters, that we're malicious, when to be honest, if they're saying that we are, then we got it from their ancestors who had the audacity to go steal, kill, and destroy groups of people and nations just to take their natural resources. I mean, look at the South Dakota Pipe, how they did those people in the South Dakota Pipe, you know, how they've done Native Americans. They intentionally displaced and or killed Native Americans here in North America so that they could take over their property and take over their lands, which they have. And I noticed that they love to be around the water. You know, a lot of racist people love water. They love to be around the ocean and the rivers and the lakes. And they feel like they have the right to take those kind of territories. And what has essentially happened is, instead of them giving the lands to the lineage of these and the descendants um of Native Indians that they displaced and killed, and or Africans that they kidnapped and killed and mistreated, they decided they were going to just capitalize off of it. That's why, like, a lot of these national parks or whatever, I can't find my. I used to be thrilled to go to them, but I can't go to parks that I know belong to tribals of people, and the state is capitalizing off of them instead of giving it back to the people who they truthfully belong to, because I know they know who they belong to, but they're not going to give it back to them. They're going to just continue to capitalize off of and use it for tourist sites for tourists to come, and and they make money off the tourists. They got to pay the park, they got to pay to get into the parks, and they got to pay for water and pay for all of this stuff. And the lineage, the descendants are not receiving any of it, no kind of compensation at all. So I have a problem with supporting that. That's why I even stopped going to Stone Mountain Park, because I can't play in a park that I know they threw melanin people off the top of that stone, threw them off to kill, to their death, and knowing that they put a lake to cover up the bodies, because they didn't naturally have a lake. That's a man-made lake at Stone Mountain. That is to hide the bodies, and also they built all this landscaping as well to hide the bodies of those who was thrown off the top just because of the color of their skin. Remember, that was the first place where the KKK formed. They had their meat, and they were kidnapping melanin people and throwing them off the top of that mountain. So I have a problem when I go to places like that. I can't even visit Savannah and spend money in Savannah, because I know that on the pier, on the port, where they still have it as a tourist site, where the boats would come, the ship would come with all of these kidnapped Africans, and that they took off the ship to force it to slavery. They had them shackled up in these dungeons and stuff. I can't pay to go and see that. Why the hell I need to go and pay to see how white people, white racists, European people, Puerto Rican people, and Spaniards did to ancestors of my people. I'm not fed to pay to go and see that. I'm not going to do it. So maybe that's just my thinking, but I just refuse to. I'm not going to help them monetize off, continue to monetize off of the torture and the dehumanization and the forced slave enslavement of melanin people. I'm just not doing it because that's all it is. It's just like you're just supporting that, and I'm not going to support it. If I find out any place have, that's why I don't bake with Wells Fargo or Chase. I do not, because everybody know Wells Fargo, the owner had plenty of kidnapped Africans that he forced into slavery. He treated them cruel. He was extremely cruel to them. But that's what I'm saying. Like now they doing all this befriending, and they always talk about we need to do. No, we don't need to do anything because we did not set these laws and we did not start this racism. Y'all need to fix it, not us. We ain't got to come together to do nothing because we've been here, just taking it and taking it. So, and because a lot of these powers that be are on the benches, the Supreme Court benches, and police force, and on these governmental positions, Senate seats, and legislation, and Congress, we still have to continue to fight this racism. And the thing about it is, like, they never want to thoroughly address it. They acknowledge it, but they're not trying to fix it because it can be stopped. They can make it a mandate, a law. They can put it into a law that it is a felony to attack to to attack melanin people, to be racist toward melanin. They can make it into a law if they wanted to, but they're not going to do that. And you know why they're not going to do that? Because majority of the people who are contributors to it and that are like that are the ones that are in office. So with that stated, it is crazy that we have to even go through this. We shouldn't even still be dealing with racism. If it was rectified and if it was eradicated by now, we wouldn't be having this case with George, with this stupid cop, this evil racist who intentionally killed George Floyd. And then they trying to put it on drugs because there was drugs in his system. No, it was the cop putting his damn fucking knee on his neck that killed him. Excuse me for cursing like that, because y'all know I don't curse like that, so they tell you how heated I am. But what I'm saying is they always try to use word things to fit their narrative when they know they're wrong. And then you got these state governors that are sorry as hell. They don't do anything because they're racist too. You got these attorney generals, they're racist too. You got these people who are, you know, in these high powered positions that has the power to put an end to it, and they won't because they don't want to. So, but they still just continue to befriend, to befriend, just to fit their narrative and just to make it seem like they are that they're a part of. They care. Oh, we care about the little Negroes. We care about them. Look at her with her afro. I care about that Negro with her afro. Look at that. Yeah. You care so much that you won't even put your foot down to change laws and to stop allowing racist cops, and racist people to sit on these political seats and boards. So again, don't fall for the befriending plots. It still continues, especially in the music industry. Every time you turn around, look at most of the hip hop artists. You don't really see too many of us hanging around them, especially females. Not no chocolate enriched melanin females. You don't hardly see us around them. They don't hardly have us around them. You notice that they don't really have us around them. They have people who look totally opposite, and there are totally opposite around them. And all I would say, not all of them, but some of them, it is just a befriending thing to build themselves up. That's it. Because once they build themselves up and get what they want, they're gonna go about their business. I mean, it happened to M. M, even though he wasn't approached, he saw it as an opportunity. He took advantage of it. And I just have to say that, and I don't blame him. I would have took advantage of it too. Why not? And he didn't really have too many of the people on his show. I noticed that he may have played the music, but he didn't really have too many of them on his show. So y'all think about that. Y'all just think about that. He didn't have too many of us on his shows, especially deep, dark, and rich melanin women. He didn't have us on his shows. So, like I said, some tolerate us to get what they want and to build off of us. And once they build up off of us, racist people study. They're very inquisitive people too. Most of them are really um, intelligent. Like they'll study you. They study what you like, how you move. Um, they study to get an idea about how you are, and they would take that and embark upon it to use to their advantage if they feel the need to. So yeah, people, y'all just don't fall for the befriending plots because a lot of people are befriending. And even if they're not racist per se against you as melanin, if they're racist against any other group of people, you can't trust them. Anybody who's racist, you can't trust them. I'm not a racist person at all. I don't care your skin color, your nationality, your religion, none of that. Just because I may not agree with certain things that people do doesn't mean that I'm a racist. I'm not going to hate somebody because of the color of their skin or their nationality. That is the stupidest thing in the world. Why would I hate somebody because of their nationality or their skin color? That is so idiotic. It's very, I don't know, that you got to have a really you got to be an extremely stupid and ignorant, asinine, idiotic person to hate somebody solely because of their skin color and or their hair texture and stuff. That is the most dumbest crap ever. Or because of their nationality. You really, I mean, like, and I'm not talking about a little hate. I mean, like, enraged hate where they want to harm and hurt and or kill. That is ridiculous. Like, when when people allow their mind to be that way, allow their heart and their spirit to be that way, you can never trust them. I don't trust anybody like that. If somebody racist against Asians, I'm not going to trust them because they may eventually become racist against me or be undercoverly racist against me. I don't know. You racist against Muslim, I can't trust you. You racist against Indians, I can't trust you. You racist against Hispanic, I cannot trust you. If you're racist towards anybody for things like their skin color, their nationality, their creed, ethnicity, I cannot trust you and will not trust you because at some point it'll be something in there that'll make you that could possibly make them turn against me and hate me for the color of my skin. And that's just not for they have no parts of that at all. I don't want to deal with it. Don't have any parts of it. So yeah, but I'm getting ready to go. Thank you guys so much for watching and thank you again um, for watching and for your input. And I'm getting ready to go ahead and I'm going to conclude. And I just really wish though I can delete these comments. It says delete, but it's not giving me an option to delete. So I don't know. But anyway, that I don't. I'm gonna have to stop using this Twitch because I don't like how Twitch is. Twitch just doesn't seem to work good. And uh, yeah. But anyway, yeah, the features are really confusing. I'm looking at it, and their features are extremely confusing. So I'm gone. Y'all take care. God bless one love. Peace. I'm out like a light. And thanks again for watching. Truthfully do appreciate you all. And make sure you guys go to the website. Oh, and support my Gloves On campaign. And I'm going to go ahead and close it out. Let me see. I'm trying to find the banner. Okay, so there's the website. You guys can go there. And as soon as you go to the website, it's going to pop up Gloves On campaign. Just press on that button and go sign a petition, okay? All right.